Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into our time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Jimmy from Boston is excited as can be because it's an episode of My Friend Irma starring Marie Wilson going back to June 7th, 1948 as Irma and Jane head to Coney Island.
Irma, look at that New York skyline. Isn't it amazing to think that the Indians sold all of Manhattan for only $24?
Yeah, isn't that silly? They could have gotten $1,000 for the Empire State Building alone.
Well, that's what you can expect when you listen to My Friend Irma.
Friendship, friendship, just a perfect friendship. When other friendships have been forgot, theirs will still be hot.
Lever Brothers, makers of Swan, the soap with the exclusive super cream blend, presents
Our Friend Swan.
With My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Days that make people say that New York is a great place to visit, but not to live in. Why? Because the temperature is hugging the century mark and the humidity is picketing your pores. Irma and I are stretched out, gasping for breath on our patio. You see, we like to think of our fire escape as a patio.
Jane!
Oh, don't talk, sweetie. It's too hot.
Jane, what's the temperature of the human body?
98 is normal.
What's the temperature on the fire escape?
Well, let me see. My goodness, it's 98.
Then what are we complaining about? Everything is normal.
Well, ordinarily, I'd try to straighten Irma out, but it's too hot to argue. In fact, to forget the heat, Irma and I are playing a game. We're looking on the clotheslines around us and trying to guess what kind of people each line represents. For instance, over there on Mrs. Burton's line, there are 2 silk-striped men's shirts and 5 pair of boys' overalls. Story's quite plain. Mr. Burton is a big man about town, and Junior has to support the family.
Jane, I've got one figured out.
Yeah?
Yes, Mrs. Adams has 2.5 children.
She has. How did you arrive at that?
Oh, it's very simple, Jane. There's 5 stockings on the line.
A gold star for you, Irma Peterson. I suppose because there are 2 sunbonnets hanging on Mrs. Horwitz's line, she has 2 heads.
Well, she does keep to herself. Gosh, Jane, isn't it warm?
Yeah, it's just about the hottest day I can remember. Let's go back into the house. Maybe it's cooled off.
All right, Jane.
Oh, no. It's just as hot in here.
Well, I think I can bring the temperature down, Jane. Just give me time.
Irma, what are you going to do with all those paper bags?
I'm going to fill them all up with warm air and put them in the icebox and let them cool off.
Oh, please, honey. Please.
Isn't it any good, Jane?
Irma, the next time we go out in the sun, promise me you'll wear a hat. Oh, gosh, I wish there was some way we could cool off. And Irma, don't suggest that we put cold slaw on our heads.
Oh, that's ridiculous. What will we have for supper? Look, Jane, if we really want to cool off, why don't we go to Coney Island and sit on the beach?
Sit? Irma, if we were ballet dancers, we couldn't find enough beach in that crowd to stand on one toe.
Oh, but Jane, there's going to be a contest and a parade, and the couple with the best personality gets a prize.
Yeah, but honey, it's such a trek to Coney Island.
Well, with Al and Richard, it'd be so much fun.
Richard at Coney Island. Honey, I don't want to make Richard seem snobbish, but the whole picture is out of focus. That'd be like asking Mrs. Vanderbilt to write a column for the Hobo News.
Oh, but Jane, we have such fun at Coney Island. Al wins so many prizes, like when they try to guess his weight.
Yeah, I know, Irma, and someday they're going to find that brick in his back pocket and they'll let him have it. But not for a prize. Hello. Oh, hello, Richard. Yes, of course I'm warm. How is it out there in your neck of the woods? It is? Well, it just goes to show you, even with a cool million, you can be hot. You know, Richard...
Jane, tell him about Coney Island.
Irma, please, honey, I'm talking. Wait a minute. What, Richard? No, Irma's just talking. She has a crazy idea. You know, it's too ridiculous to talk about. I don't want to embarrass you. She thought you'd like to go to Coney Island. Isn't that silly? You'd love to go. You think it's a wonderful idea? Hold the phone, will you, Richard? I want some water. Now it's really hot. You'll be here in an hour? Well, yes, of course, we'll be ready. Goodbye. Irma, did you hear that? Richard wants to go with us.
Well, that's what I like about Richard. He's not high-hat. I think for a Republican, he's very democratic. Now, I wonder where I can get in touch with Al.
Well, finding Al may be a problem. Today being Sunday and everything closed, he's probably looking for a job. Irma, what are you doing?
I'm calling his hotel.
Oh.
Hello, is this the Hotel Lennox? It is? Well, I'd like to speak to Al. Huh? He's not there and you don't expect him back? Well, why not? Oh, the suitcase he left for security is full of old telephone books and all the sheets and towels are gone. Well, that's my Al. He never takes anything for nothing. Goodbye. Now, let me see. Where else could he be?
Now, honey, who are you calling this time?
The movies. Hello, Circle Theater? Do you still let children in for half price? You do? Well, did a man walk in an hour ago on his knees? Oh, you threw him out again. In what direction? Downtown? Thank you.
Irma, don't bother telephoning. If you want to find Al, just hang a sandwich out the window on a string and he'll come flying in like a buzzard.
Oh, please, Jane. Hello? Is this a candy store? Yes, I'll wait.
Honey, you're just wasting time.
No, I'm not. This is the most direct way to find Al. You see, the man in the candy store tells a newsboy, and the newsboy tells the first taxi driver.
Yeah, go on.
And the taxi driver tells the other taxi drivers, and the first one that drives by the unemployment office tells Harry.
Harry? Why doesn't he tell Al?
Oh, Jane, didn't you know Al doesn't wait in the unemployment line anymore? He has a stand-in.
No. Pretty soon he'll have a caddy to pick up cigarette butts for him.
Excuse me, Jane.
Yes, quite all right.
Hello, is this the candy? Oh, Al, I've been trying to reach you. Where are you? In the telephone booth? Well, Al, I called to see if you'd like to go to Coney Island with us. You would? You'll be right over? Oh, swell, Alan. Thanks a lot for inviting me. Bye. Oh, Jane, isn't he wonderful? I don't know what I've done to deserve him.
Must have been something pretty horrible. Well, what bathing suit are you going to wear, sweetie?
Well, gee, I could wear that two-piece blue suit I wore last year, but I don't think it'll look so good on me this year.
Why not? You haven't put on any weight.
No, but I lost one of the pieces.
Oh. Honey, look, just wear your green one, huh? I'm sure that you'll look sensational. Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. Hello, Janie and Irma, my two little gold chains. One with a charm, one with a missing link. Excuse me, a little joke I picked up from an old pawnbroker.
Why, Professor.
Oh, Professor, isn't the heat terrible?
Not in my room. Up there, it's just like going to the seashore. You can actually feel the moist spray blowing in your face from the broken water pipe. In fact, if it didn't make me so sleepy, I would stay up there all day.
Makes you sleepy?
Yes, I also got a broken gas pipe.
Professor, would you like to go to Coney Island with us?
Coney Island?
Yeah, wouldn't it be fun to go to the beach, lie on the sand?
What do you think is on my floor, a carpet?
Oh, come on. Be serious, Professor. Irma and Al are going to Coney Island with Richard and me. Listen, you could take Mrs. O'Reilly. After all, it's about time you two patch things up.
Mrs. O'Reilly, I wouldn't have anything to do with her if she was the last woman in the world. And by the looks of her, she must have been the first. See you later, girls.
You know, it's too bad the Professor and Mrs. O'Reilly don't get along anymore, isn't it? You know, when he was going with her, he seemed a lot happier.
I noticed that too, Jane. Every time she used to ask him for the rent, he laughed.
Yeah. Come in.
Hello, Jane. Hi, Irma.
Oh, dear. Oh, Richard, you're a little early. I'm not quite ready.
Well, Jane, I don't like to disappoint you, but I'm afraid I won't be able to go to Coney Island with you.
Oh, Richard, why not?
Business. One of my clients insists on seeing me right away.
Oh, Richard, it's so hot today.
I know, but business before pleasure, and seeing you in a bathing suit would be so much pleasure.
Gee, when you say that, I can't be angry. Could have been such fun, though. There's a personality contest, a bathing beauty parade.
Well, the summer's just beginning. There'll be other days. Maybe we can do it another time. Goodbye, Jane. Bye, Irma.
Bye, Richard.
Goodbye. Oh, don't feel too badly, Jane.
I'm kind of getting used to it. When you're that way about an important man, appointments mean nothing. You might as well throw out the clock.
But how will I know when it's time to go to work?
Oh. Honey, it's just an expression. You and Al go ahead. You have a good time. I'll manage to find something to do. Come in.
It's only me again, Professor Kropotkin. Girls, I've made up with Mrs. O'Reilly. I realize I've been a blind fool.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, to make up with Mrs. O'Reilly, you got to be a blind fool. But something about taking her to the beach fascinated me.
What is it?
Time will tell.
It's Al, chicken.
Come in, Al, honey.
Hiya, folks. Sorry I'm late. Was busy cutting off the top of my bathing suit.
Why did you do that?
Didn't think it was becoming. Especially the part that said, property of Coney Island bathhouse. Well, chicken, see you got your bathing suit on and ready to go. Where's yours, Jane?
Oh, well, Al, Richard can't make it, so I've decided to stay home.
Oh, wouldn't think of it, Jane. You can come with Irma and me.
Well, that's sweet of you, Al. All right, I'll go along, but you don't have to worry about entertaining me. I just want to get a breath of air.
Oh, that's wonderful. And Al, I hope we win the personality contest.
Personality contest?
Yes, we parade in front of the judges in our bathing suits.
That'll be a novelty, standing in front of a judge and not having to plead not guilty.
And Al, the Professor and Mrs. O'Reilly are coming with us, too.
That's right, Al. You don't have to be afraid to go in the water. With Mrs. O'Reilly around, the sharks wouldn't dare come inside the 3-mile limit.
Hello. Al? Yes, just a minute. Here, Al, it's for you.
They frame me. I gotta think fast. Get an alibi.
No, Al, he says he's a friend.
Oh. Hello, friend. What's on your mind? You got a guy who wants to invest in my deals? Charlie, are you sure he's all right? Oh, he just twitches a little. Well, in that case, don't send him here. We'll go down and see him. Thanks, Charlie. If anything develops, we'll cut you in. Goodbye. Chicken, we'll have to cancel our beach trip. Someone wants to put dough in my latest deal.
Oh, Al, you and your deal.
Yeah, but this one may be the turning point in my life. Enable me to marry you.
Marry me?
Yeah, and let's face it, chicken, money is very important in the early years of our marriage. Because the children can't collect unemployment insurance until they're 16. So we'll be talking with you, chicken. Goodbye.
Don't cry, honey. I was stood up, too.
But now we can't go to Coney Island.
Who says you can't?
But you're taking Miss O'Reilly.
That's the point. When you take somebody like Mrs. O'Reilly, you got to have an antidote. My arm, girls. Coney Island, here we come.
June 7th, 1948, Marie Wilson and My Friend Irma here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
You ever make a change and then think, why didn't I do this years ago? Well, that's how people feel about switching to Medishare for their health care, especially now with inflation the way it is. People are very happy with the savings. Most families save about $500 a month when they switch. It's a huge help when prices are going up so fast in so many other areas. And Medishare's customer satisfaction rate is double that of health insurance. It's just a different experience, and people really like that. Medishare is an alternative to health insurance. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills, and it's been going strong for over 25 years. It really is the gold standard, the most trusted name in healthcare sharing. Find out why people love it. Find out why they rave about the customer service and find out how good it feels to save some money right now. They're super easy to talk to. Here's the number, 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE, 833-34-BIBLE.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater here on your favorite station. Now more of My Friend Irma starring Marie Wilson, June 7th, 1948.
They call New York City the melting pot. I don't know that it's true all year round, but in the summer, if you want to melt, believe me, there's no place like New York. Of course, if you want relief, there's always Coney Island. And it is relief, because after a day at Coney Island, you can't wait till you get back to New York. Oh, frankly, I don't know why we came here. Coney Island has turned out to be a nothing. A crowded nothing. Irma, because Al didn't come along, is utterly miserable. She hasn't stopped eating since we got here. She always eats like that when Alice stood her up. She says it helps fill the emptiness inside her. As for me, without Richard, I'm completely bored. There's only one person seems to be enjoying himself, and that's Professor Kropotkin. You know why? He's burying Mrs. O'Reilly in the sand. He keeps saying,
"Can you still breathe?"
And when Mrs. O'Reilly says,
"Oh, yes, Professor,"
he says,
"Got to get more sand."
Irma is still moping.
Jane.
What is it, sweetie?
You know, sometimes I wish there was no such thing as men. Wish there was something else.
What would you like them to be?
Oh, anything. Canary birds, dogs. No, that wouldn't be any good. We'd be spending all our time in pet shops.
Yeah. And it'd be such trouble to find a husband who was housebroken. Look, honey, forget about Al disappointing you. We're on the beach. We came here to enjoy ourselves. Let's be gay. Laugh. Oh. Irma, that's hardly a laugh.
Well, I can't help it, Jane. My heart's not in it.
Why not, honey?
A man just sat on our lunch.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That's all we needed.
Girls, are you very busy?
No, Professor. What do you want?
Could you please help me find Mrs. O'Reilly?
Oh, Professor, don't you remember where you buried her?
Well, I put a paper plate over the spot, but the wind blew it away.
Oh, here comes Miss O'Reilly.
Hello, girls. Oh, there you are, Professor.
Mrs. O'Reilly, where have you been?
Oh, I was up on the boardwalk. Professor, I've entered our names in the personality contest.
You and me? Your name and my name?
Yes, do you think we'll have a chance to win?
No, but we could set a good example of what would happen if Cupid ever starts using poison darts.
Oh, hush your spoofing. Come on, Professor, walk me to the bathhouse. I want to change into me other bathing suit.
You have another suit with you, Mrs. O'Reilly?
Oh, yes. I understand that a girl's figure plays a very important part in these contests. So I think I'd better wear the bathing suit that leaves my knees exposed. Come on, Professor. We'll see you later, girls.
Oh, Jane. Everybody's getting in a personality contest but me.
Yeah. Well, I'm not in it either, honey. We just happen to be stranded without our men.
I feel terrible.
Yeah. Where are you going, sweetie?
Oh, I think I'll take a swim. They say an ocean voyage makes you forget.
Well, Irma, don't go out too far. Remember, you've just eaten. You might get a cramp.
All right, Jane, I'll be careful. Why don't you take a swim with me?
No, thanks, honey. This bathing suit dissolves in water. No, I'll just sit here and amuse myself. Have fun.
I will. Goodbye.
Pardon me, miss.
Yes?
I just realized I've been sitting on your lunch.
Oh, well, that's all right. You don't have to look so terrified.
But I am. A lot of that stuff isn't on my diet.
What?
Goodbye now.
Well, I will be...
Hiya, Jane.
Well, Al... Well, Al, what are you doing here? I thought you were tied up on business.
Was, but the deal fell through.
As could be expected.
Yeah, but this one seemed like such a natural. It's a device for guys who don't want to break their promise to their wives when they've told them they're going on the wagon.
What is it?
It's a bar on a wagon. But the guy didn't go for it, so let's forget it. Jane, where's Chicken?
Oh, she's in the water, Al. Last time I saw her, she was right over... Al, look at that crowd. The lifeguard's bringing someone in.
So what? Good-looking lifeguard. Some dame probably hollered for help.
Al, it's Irma.
Irma? Oh, wait a minute. She can swim.
Yeah, but Al, accidents can happen to the best swimmers. Come on, let's help her.
She looks like she don't need no help. Look at the way she's got her arms around his shoulders.
Oh, Al, don't be narrow. So he's carrying her. What do you want her to do when she's drowning? Carry him?
Well, I don't like it, Jane, and I'm going to let her know it.
Oh, hello, Jane. Oh, Al, gee, I'm so glad to see you. Did you see, I almost drowned.
Yeah. Fun, wasn't it?
What do you mean, Al?
Look, Chicken, I saw the way you were hugging that lifeguard when he was carrying you.
Oh, Al, I wasn't hugging him. I was practically unconscious. In fact, that's what the lifeguard told me all the way in. He kept saying, "Where do you want me to take you, unconscious?"
Just because you thought I was disappointing you for the personality contest didn't give you the right to carry on with some other guy. Well, now you got the right, because I'm stepping out of the picture. Goodbye, Mata Hari.
Oh, no, Al. Please, Jane, don't let him go. Please go after him. Don't let him go.
Oh, don't worry about him, honey. Give him a chance to cool off.
I don't want him to cool off. Sun's going down. I'm getting chilly. Get him, Jane, please.
Oh, honey, all right. If you're going to get hysterical, I suppose I'll have to go after him. Al? 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 Wait a minute. I want to talk to you.
Please,
Wait.
Jane, I've made up my mind.
Look, Al, Irma wants you to come back.
Jimmy could have had a chance. Marie Wilson, My Friend Irma, June 7th, 1948 on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, the conclusion of My Friend Irma, starring Marie Wilson, June 7th, 1948.
Frankly, if I were Irma, I'd not only give you railroad fare, I'd carry your bags to the station. But Irma loves you, and I'm not going to see you hurt her because I love Irma.
Well, I don't want to hurt Chicken.
Oh, you don't want to hurt her. Do you realize what that girl goes through every time you quarrel with her? Do you realize what I go through? Well, let me tell you. Remember last October when you made a date with another girl?
Yeah?
Well, she tried to kill herself by gas. She turned on the stove and she sat in front of it for 6 hours before she remembered it was electric. And then, so it wouldn't be a total loss, she baked a cake. Almost killed all of us. Al, I have only one life to give to my country, but to me, you're not Uncle Sam.
You mean I really affect Chicken that much?
Yes, you do. And if you're half a man, you'll enter the personality contest with her so she can have a little fun. Come on. What do you say, Al?
Sure, Jane. Don't want to worry my future wife and have her hair turn prematurely gray. She'll have a tough enough time getting a job as it is. You want a hot dog, Jane? They look pretty good.
No, thanks,
Yeah,
Al.
well, tell Chicken I'll meet her here on the boardwalk for the contest. Gotta make a call.
Who are you calling, Al?
Who else but... Hello, Joe? Al, got a problem.
That's enough for me. Goodbye, Al.
Say, Joe, I'm at Coney Island, going to enter a personality contest with Irma. What do you suggest? Uh-huh. 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 Mm-hmm. Forget the personality contest and go over to the shooting gallery if I want to clean up? But, Joe, there's no money in knocking over clay pigeons. Oh, you don't mean clay pigeons, the manager is loaded. No, Joe, may be mistaken, but think managers are out of season. We'll enter the contest despite your advice. Goodbye, noble friend.
Well, we're all on the boardwalk, and the personality contest has just begun. There go Al and Irma. I must say that Irma looks adorable. She's arm in arm with Al, and they're doing a funny little dance step. I won't say it's not graceful. I'll only say that one look at it, and Arthur Murray had burned down his studios. Al is smiling broadly and strutting with his chest out. He couldn't be any happier if he had a written guarantee that he wouldn't get a job for the next 20 years. You know, I think she's going to win.
I'm sure she is.
Richard!
Oh, Jane, I've been looking all over for you. I tried to get here in time for the contest, but I guess I'm too late.
Richard, would you have entered this contest?
With you? Anytime.
Oh, Richard, imagine the two of us standing here in the sun with the temperature 140.
But it's not 140.
Oh, it is when you talk that way. Look, Richard. Look, Al and Irma have won the contest. Look.
So they have.
Yeah.
Jane, look at this wonderful cup I won.
Oh, congratulations, honey.
Thanks, but personally, I don't think it's fair.
Why not?
Well, Al won the contest with me, and if I won a cup, the least they could have done was give him the saucer.
Well, the contest is over, but it's still too hot to breathe. So when we got home, I said, you know, honey, let's go to a movie. They're air-conditioned.
Well, what's playing, Jane?
Oh, there are lots of good pictures. The Fuller Brush Man, So Evil, My Love, The Great Waltz. Which one would you like to see?
Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind? Irma, you've seen that picture 18 times in the past 10 years.
Yes, isn't it wonderful the way Clark Gable never gets a day older?
Well, Gable may not be getting any older, but believe me, I'm getting a little grayer living with my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma, presented by Swan, another fine product of Lever Brothers Company, was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard and Park Levy. My Friend Irma stars Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane. The part of Professor Kropotkin was played by Hans Conried. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important announcement. You all know the security loan drive is on. Well, do you know just how much buying security bonds will help you save? Will help you reach objectives like a retirement income, education for your children. Start today. Enroll in a regular payroll saving plan where you work or where you bank. But above all, start to save now by buying and holding United States security bonds. Frank Bingman speaking.
From June 7th, 1948, My Friend Irma on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just two of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, another episode of the soap opera Claudia. This episode originally broadcast June 7th, 1948.
And now, Claudia.
Offices of Killian and Norton. Who's calling, please? Oh, Mr. Colligan. I didn't recognize your voice. You seem to have a cold. Oh, I see. It's just sinus, huh? No, Mr. Killian isn't back from Chicago yet. No, Mr. Norton isn't here either. No, he hasn't got nothing wrong with him. He's just married and healthy and gonna have a baby. That's the life. Sure, maybe I'll try that one of these days, too. You're the limit, Mr. Colligan. Okie dokie. No message, then. Look, if it's anything important, I can reach Mr. Norton. He's only up in his country place working on the freight terminal plans. That's why I don't like to disturb him unless it's absolutely necessary. Okay. I'll just tell him that the cement contract is okay. Yeah, on our terms. Nice to talk to you, Mr. Colligan. Sure. Okay. Okie dokie. Goodbye now.
Lottie, what would you do if okay and okie dokie hadn't been invented in the English language?
Oh, Mr. Norton, I didn't hear you come in. Gee, I didn't expect you this morning. Gosh, you scared me. How long you been standing there anyhow?
Well, long enough to realize what a jewel you are, Lottie.
Yeah, I know. Finish it. I'm a jewel, the kind that's a diamond in the rough. Okay, so I never had a college education.
You don't need it, Lottie. You don't need it.
I'd like to talk better for Mr. Killian's sake. I mean, anything less than perfect isn't good enough for him.
Lottie, here's a little secret. Mr. Killian's devoted to you. Okie dokies and all.
Oh, gee, I'm certainly glad to hear that, because I'm certainly crazy about him, too. He scares me pink. Because of his manners, you think he disapproves of you, but underneath he sort of disapproves of himself. That's the way I dope it out.
Well, you've doped it out as well as you handle that old battle axe, Colligan.
I told him you wouldn't be in for another week or so. Say, what are you doing in New York?
I brought Mrs. Norton down in the car. The doctor wanted to see her for a final checkup.
Oh, gee, how is she?
Okay. She'll be along in a minute. She stopped off to do a little shopping.
Gee, you look great, Mr. Norton. All sunburned.
Well, I took a couple of hours off from work yesterday and went trout fishing.
How's it going?
Fine. They're running fine.
I mean the freight terminal, not the trout.
Oh, the freight terminal. The freight terminal's okay.
Oh, gee, you're the limit, Mr. Norton. That's another thing wrong with Mr. Killian. He don't know how to joke with people. He's all tied up, like in a knot. You sort of feel sorry for him. Say, I hope there's nothing wrong with his son. He's sure crazy about that boy of his, even though he don't show it.
What do you mean, Lottie? About there being something wrong with his son?
Oh, I'm not saying there is. They didn't say there was either. They just wanted to reach Mr. Killian.
Who wanted to reach him?
The school. The headmaster of the school up in Massachusetts someplace.
Oh?
I said Mr. Killian was in Chicago, so he said he'd phone Mrs. Killian.
Well, was that all he said?
That's all. I guess it's just measles or chicken pox. They're always having epidemics in those prep schools.
Yeah, possibly. I think I'll telephone Mrs. Killian to find out if anything's wrong.
Oh, I phoned her already. I wanted to make sure she got the message.
And did she?
Fat chance. The hotel said she'd gone off someplace. Some political shindig, if you ask me. Don't she ever stay home and things like other women, I mean? Just act normal? Trouble is, I guess, she hasn't got a home. Just a hotel.
You're a contradiction, Lottie.
Huh? Me? Contradiction. Is that bad or good to be?
I'm married to one, so I think it's good. Hello, darling.
Hello.
Did you get your shopping done?
Nope. Stores are jammed, so I said, oh, for heaven's sakes, easier to do without. And cheaper, too. Hello, Lottie.
Hello, Mrs. Norton. Gee, you look fine. You both do.
What do you mean we both do?
Mr. Norton's got a sunburn better than you can get at the barber's house.
Yes, he does look wonderful. The country is just gorgeous this time of year. I can't wait till we get back. Can you? How long will you be, David?
I just have to go over a little mail.
Well, there's nothing important I haven't attended to or sent up to Eastbrook.
Well, I want to do a little phoning. If you don't mind my using my office for a few moments, Lottie.
Oh, go right ahead, go right ahead. Make yourself at home.
Thanks. Come on, darling.
Yeah.
Come on with me a minute. Get off your feet.
See you later, Lottie.
Okay.
Your office looks so forlorn, David, with the blinds down.
Well, that's soon remedied.
Looks like it missed you anyway. Everything all right since you've been gone?
Fine.
Lottie's wonderful, isn't she? I'm lucky she's not beautiful, too. I mean, she's nice looking, but not dangerous. With that voice.
Yes, she is.
She is what?
What you said.
David, you weren't listening to a single thing I said. You're just staring down at your desk.
No, I'm sorry. What did you say?
I said I thought you were in love with Lottie.
Well, since you found out, yes. I cannot live without her.
Oh.
That's no joke.
Well, I can't say I blame you. Darling, what's the matter?
Nothing. Why?
You look like something's bothering you.
Well, heavens help me if I really did have a secret to keep from you. You've got eyes like an X-ray.
It isn't Mom, is it? I mean, everything's all right up in the country?
Of course, Sally. We only left a couple of hours ago.
I get such crazy ideas.
You know, you're still a little mama baby.
I know. I try to get over it. Maybe after my baby gets here, I'll grow up.
Who's to say what's grown up? Maybe one of these days psychologists will change their tune and come to the conclusion that more love and not less love is what's needed in this sorry old world of ours.
Then I'd be right in style if they did.
Come in.
It's only me. Jeffrey Killian's outside.
Well, that's a relief.
Roger's son?
Yes, I'm glad to say it is Roger's son. He was what was worrying me. Send him in, Lottie.
He doesn't want to see you. He just asked for his father, and when I said he was in Chicago, he said never mind, he'd leave him a note. That's what he's doing now, writing a note to his father. Gee, Mr. Norton, that kid looks awful, and it ain't measles. If you ask me, the school telephoned because he's in some sort of trouble.
Oh, nonsense, Lottie. It's the end of the exam period. All kids look tired out.
Maybe, but it ain't that kind of tiredness. He's white around the gills, and his mouth looks all tight. Looks like he's lost weight, too.
You're a cheerful one. Well, just see that he doesn't leave. Now, I'll be there in a minute. And no matter what I say or do, play along with me.
Sure thing. I got you.
Right.
Okie dokie.
What is all this about Jeff?
I don't know yet. But I think Lottie isn't too far from the truth.
Roger's been upset about him, I know that much. He's made 2 or 3 trips back and forth to the school in the past few weeks.
I know. The youngster's been in some sort of an emotional tangle. Roger hated to leave for Chicago.
What about Mrs. Killian? After all, if Jeff is in a jam of some sort, he's got his mother to go to.
His mother's away.
Oh, then the poor boy's here alone. Maybe we could take him up to the farm with us.
That's exactly what I'd like to do, darling.
How wonderful.
But I have a feeling it's not going to be an easy thing to wangle.
Say, maybe you could manage him better alone, David. You know, sort of man to man. Why don't I wait in Roger's office?
Darling, you are a woman in a million.
Thank you.
Make yourself scarce.
Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute. Come back. Well, we put him. Mother's in the guest room.
In the nursery. Only don't tell him it's the nursery. It'd hurt his pride. Call me when you're ready.
Can you pull up the blinds in Roger's room by yourself?
What do you think I am?
Lottie, take a letter, will you?
Okay.
Well, Jeff, I forgot it was the end of the term. Come in. Come in. Great to see you.
I was just leaving, sir. I won't bother you.
Oh, no bother. Well, you've put on a couple of good inches since I saw you at Easter. You must be easy 6 foot, huh?
5'11.5", sir.
That's near enough. Come on in the office and have a chat, Jeff. Mrs. Norton's using your father's room to do some telephoning.
No, really, sir,
Your father ought to be back at the end of the week. Hope it isn't too hot in Chicago. Here, my office is a lot cooler. I don't know how Lottie stands the heat in this cubbyhole of hers.
I don't mind it. I like it when it's hot.
Now, Jeff, have a seat over there by the desk. Cigarette?
No, thank you, sir.
Home for good? School's over early this year, isn't it?
It isn't over for another 10 days.
Now, look here, as long as your father's out of town, and I believe your mother's away, too, isn't she?
Yes, she's away. I went to the hotel, but she's away.
Well, that's our good luck. Since you're all alone in town, why not drive back to the country with Claudia and me this evening?
It's very kind of you, sir, but that would be impossible.
Oh, you're going back to school?
I've been kicked out of school, Mr. Norton. They call it expelled. Kicked out describes it better.
I was kicked out of school once.
Why?
Oh, got in a scrape of some kind. The details have gotten a little blurred through the years. But it seemed a lot more serious then than it really was.
What'd your father say?
He was a pretty good scout about it. Fathers are, you know.
Mine won't be. He detests a cheat. My mother does, too. My parents are very important people. They won't like to have a cheat for a son.
Now, come now, that's a pretty harsh word.
That's what I am. I cheat in the exams. They've kicked me out. Did you ever cheat at exams, Mr. Norton?
Jeff, I never had to.
I had to. I couldn't help it.
I see.
You don't see, Mr. Norton.
But I think I do, Jeff.
David?
Yes, dear.
Why, Jeff, hello. I'm terribly glad to see you.
Hello, Mrs. Norton. I was just leaving
Where were you going, Jeff?
to enlist.
You're not quite old enough, Jeff.
I can lie about that, too.
Jeff, I think it's wonderful when a boy wants to enlist. I hope when I have a son, he's going to have that kind of courage. But with your father away, don't do it. At least not till you've talked it over with him.
This is different, Mrs. Norton. I've got to.
Well, maybe, but I wish you'd do us a favor first. It's a nerve to ask you, but if you could,
What favor?
Well, we're so behind in outdoor work on the farm. No help to speak of, and David's been tied up so on those freight terminal plans. What I wouldn't give for 6 foot of brawn and muscle to do a little mowing and raking. It's an awful nerve of me, isn't it, David? But when I saw Jeff standing here so big and strong, it just seemed like a gift from heaven.
It's no gift from heaven, Mrs. Norton. Your husband wouldn't want me on the place.
Did you ring, Mr. Norton?
Yes, Lottie, I did. And if Mr. or Mrs. Killian telephones, tell them we've kidnapped Jeffrey. He's going to pitch in and help us get some work done on the farm.
Okay, Mr. Norton. Okie dokie. Dum, 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 dum.
In the midst of a day's shopping, it's nice to pause at the friendly Coke cooler for ice-cold refreshment. And that's easy to do these days because you find Coca-Cola chilled and ready for you in department stores, grocery stores, service stations, around the corner from anywhere. While you're enjoying an ice-cold drink, remember to take a carton home, too. The 6-bottle carton is only $0.25, which you'll agree is mighty little to pay for so much delicious refreshment.
Hi there, Mr. King.
Oh, Lottie, hello there. Haven't seen you in a long time.
Been having my nose glued to that typewriter machine. Well, what do you think of it?
The typewriter?
No, young Jeffrey Killian.
Well, he does seem to be in quite a mess.
Yeah, quite. I think Mr. and Mrs. Norton is being swell about him, but it ain't going to be no easy job having him around.
You speak from experience.
I speak from intuition. Nice word, huh? It means that I got a feeling that it's not going to be any cinch having that kid around the house.
Well, we'll see.
You'll see, all right. By tomorrow, Mr. and Mrs. Norton will find they're trying to chew more than they should have bit off.
Well, thanks for the warning. I'll pass it on to Claudia and David. So long, Lottie. And as I was saying, every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere. These broadcasts are adapted for radio by Manya Starr, and the entire production is supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney.
From June 7th, 1948, Claudia here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Claudia not available through Ted over at RadioMemories.com. They are available over at RadioArchives.com, but only on CD. So that'll cut down, and they're a little more expensive there. Ted's got some great shows, though, RadioMemories.com. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. Would you do me a favor and thank this radio station and support their advertisers? It is their kindness and courtesy that allow us to be with you each and every time we roll around here on your favorite radio station. And you know, we mention all the time that you can hear all of our shows on demand. They're all available out there in the ether, on the internet. I guess the internet is the new ether, huh? It's at Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon, other places as well. Just search for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. That's Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. And, of course, at my webpage, classicradio.stream. There you can learn about building a classic radio collection of your own. You can hear our shows on demand. You can contact me there. And if you like what I do here, you can buy me a coffee. Actually, it's Dr. Pepper that I prefer, but, you can drop me a tip there. ClassicRadio.stream. Thanks for tuning in. Tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.